You know, I'm on a rant today. What's the rant? It's about narcissists, scammer, and con artists. I've been on the YouTube looking at a lot of YouTube videos on narcissism. And I'm like, what the hell they talking about? That sounds like a scammer or con artist. And I just want to go on a rant about it today. My name is Eric, and welcome to the craziness that lives inside my head. What is a narcissist? A narcissist is a person who has an excessive interest in or admiration of themselves. Narcissists who think the world revolves around them. Okay? What is a scammer? A scammer is a person who commits fraud or participates in dishonest scheme. Scammers are preying on people's good intentions. Keep that in mind. And what is a con artist? A con artist is a person who cheats or tricks others by persuading them to believe something that is not true. The debonair con artist lives by scamming rich women. So anyway, those are the definitions that I Googled. And some of these definitions, I've had friends who fits a lot of these definitions. I had a friend, his name was Robert, was an habitual liar. But he was, in my opinion, he was a narcissist. Because he always lies about himself. I mean, I give in a perfect example. He was undercover, he was on the down low. We worked together. And he dyed his hair blonde. And I said to him, why did you dye your hair blonde? Because he was going on this special date and he wanted his hair blonde. And he said to me, he says, I told everybody at work that I'm a model and I had to dye my hair blonde. Don't forget that. He told me not to forget that. Okay. So he lied about him. Well, he always thought he was a narcissist and he wanted to dye his hair blonde, but he was on the DL because he didn't want people to. Of course, when he went to work with his hair dyed blonde, I mean, how do you say you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time? I mean, there will talk about him, behind his back. I've heard them. But meanwhile, the same person, I forgot, I was at his house, we was getting high, and he said to me, I have to go, listen to this now. He was getting ready. I said, where you going? Because we just got to his house. He goes, I forgot I had an appointment with the modeling agency. And I said, what modeling agency? I said, Robert, that's a lie. You made it up. And then he stops and thinks, oh yeah. I mean, if you're going to be a liar, you got to keep track of your lying. I can't keep track of it. I give you another example. Talking about, I like this one, what they say, let's talk about a con artist. I had a friend who was a con artist. And he always liked to go out with women who had money. And I said, he always liked to go out with women who had money. So what he did was, he had two women. He told one woman that he didn't say it was with me, that he was, I don't know, technically he did. What happened was, his first girlfriend called me, wanted to know where he was. I said, I don't know, which I didn't know. I haven't seen him in like 3 days. She said, well, he was supposed to be with you on a camping trip. And I burst out laughing. Me on a camping trip? So obviously I didn't. Okay, then he gets mad at me. When he gets back home, he gets mad at me. He calls me up. Well, I tell, can't you just go along with the line? I'm like, how can I go along with something if I don't know what it is? I said, did she really? And actually, when we had that when I had that conversation with his girlfriend, she pretty much didn't believe it. That's why she called me. A camping trip? Two city boys going on a camping trip? That was a con artist. Now let's get to the scammer. The only thing I know about scamming, which scam is what you call it, you could use scamming for all three of the people I want to talk about. But as for scamming, it became popular when the internet and all this stuff with your phones, you have scamming. And I don't know anybody that did stuff like that, but that's a scammer. So I'm on YouTube looking at all these YouTube videos on, it's called narcissistic behavior disorder. And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's, I don't know. I mean, it seems to me, it felt like it's an excuse to give people, actually it's an excuse to give psychologists to have more clientele. But anyway, I Googled what is an example of a narcissistic behavior. And it says, take advantage of others to get what they want. That sounds like a con artist. That sounds like a scammer. Have an inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of people, of others. Be envious of others and believe others envy them. Believe in an arrogant way, brag a lot, and come across as conceited. That's the behavior. Well, the first one, I don't know about. My friend Robert was definitely not narcissistic. He didn't scam anybody, or wasn't a con artist. He just thought of himself that he was it. And what problem is he was on a down low. So that part, I believe, with him. I mean, one time I said to him, I said, you think you're so cute. Of course, he said to me back, you're just jealous because you're so fat. But anyway, let's get to something else. So now I've had an experience recently with a person, and when we broke up, I explained what went on with me and this person, and they said that, oh, he has NAPD. I said, what do you mean NAPD? They said NAPD is narcissistic personality disorder. I said, what are you talking about? I said first of all, he was narcissistic. I told him he was very narcissistic. I said, but what are you talking about? He had a job. I had a job. He was retired. I was retired. I mean, we exchanged gifts. I mean, there was no how can you say? I didn't feel that he was taking advantage of me, but I didn't like the way I was being treated, disrespected. I mean, if I'm supposed to be a good friend, I mean, it started off romantically, but we realized that's not going to happen. So we were supposed to be good friends. If I'm your good friend, a very good friend of yours, and we were and are kind of romantically involved, I don't want to be disrespected. And that's what the problem was, being disrespected. And when I say disrespected, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about who's more important, these young 20-year-olds with 10 inches of dick, or our friendship. And being gay, we all know who's more important, but I'm just saying. I know I was young. I know a lot of... See, this is the problem. I'm older now. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I know, and I had gay friends, I know who was more important. It wasn't matter it wasn't on a Saturday night and I didn't have no money and I can't hang out, and I'm home alone and I want to talk to somebody on the phone, and I can't talk to somebody on the phone because they got a boyfriend around, or they running out on a Saturday night to get that 10 inches. So that was more important. But being that I'm in my 70s and you're in your 70s and we're coming to companionship, and that's what I was looking for. I did a podcast, I think my last podcast, when I was talking to this person. They say, you're looking for companionship. Yes, I am. Well, I don't mind having companionship, but I am not going to be disrespected. I am not going to be somebody that we're supposed to do these things together, and in the middle of it, you call me up. Oh, something came up. I'll say, okay, I'm thinking something came up because you just want to fool around. Well, anyway, I Google narcissistic personality disorder. Okay? Oh, I just read it. Did I just read that to you? See, I'm so upset. I'm so I don't know if I read it to you. But anyway, they have all these videos on YouTube on narcissistic personality disorder. Go to YouTube and put that into search. Tons and tons of videos. And I'm like, what are you people talking about? Now they're saying it's a disorder. It's not a disorder. These people are, on top of being narcissists, they're like con artists. They're like scammers. Now, I saw one video and it says that, and the way this guy explained it to me, maybe I do understand it. So he said that narcissistic disorder, these people got money. It's not all about the money. It's about control. That's what it says. It's all about control. So anyway, I gotta take a drink here. If you see me jiggling, my cat Happy is acting crazy. He doesn't like it when I don't give him any attention. So anyway, it's all about control. It's all about control, which has nothing to do with empathy or love or anything. It's about control. That's the disorder, I think. They want to control. They want to be in control of everything. Their friends, their lovers. That's how I'm taking it. And I sometimes, and the reason why I'm on a rant is because I'm thinking about all the so-called narcissistic people, if you want to say that I had in my life. Like, I never thought of them when I was going through that they were narcissistic. I thought they were like con artists and scammers. And like I said, my friend Robert was narcissistic, but he wasn't. He didn't want control. The only control he wanted is so people don't find out that he was on the DL. But other than that, he wasn't that tight to do that. I mean, yeah, he was a good-looking guy, so he could get any man he wanted. In fact, he had girlfriends also. So that wasn't, and he didn't control them. They try to control him, and just the opposite. But he was a free spirit. He was all over the place. But my rant is, now they have this narcissistic personality disorder. It's mental health. It's a mental health condition in which people have an unreasonable high sense of their own importance. True, like a narcissist. They think they're the most important things in the world. My first love, very first love when I was 18, he thought he was God's gift to men and women. He was a mess. They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them. That brings up my friend Robert, that I told you about, the habitual liar. Lies about himself to make himself look big. And people with this disorder may lack the ability to understand or care about feelings of others. Well, okay, I go along with that. But these same people, when I listened to this one video I was looking at, it said it has nothing to do with money, which I kind of had a conflict feelings about that. Because I know a lot of guys, what I just described, they like that, but a lot of them want the money. You're not going to do anything with them unless they get the money. I had said this to a cousin of mine because she was on Facebook talking about getting a boyfriend, and I had put in I responded. I said, but if the boy ain't got a car, ain't got a job, and is living with his parents, what's that music back in the 70s? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. And I said, I wouldn't want to be with somebody like that. And she writes back, yeah, but he might be down on his luck. I had those types too. You always think they're down on their luck. But again, like I'm trying to say, I never thought of them. They may have this personality, this narcissistic personality disorder, a mental health. But if that's the case, everybody got mental health. Everybody that I've dealt with. Anyway, my name is Eric, and I'm going to end this rant. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, you just heard the craziness that lives inside my head.